Hello and welcome to Henry's Hideout, or should I say welcome back to our returning viewers. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. If this is your first time, my name's Chasen. This is my backyard home tiki bar, and this is the channel where we make vintage tiki cocktails. Today we're actually going to be venturing outside of the vintage part of that, and we're going to make another tiki cocktail that I'm super excited to share with you guys. The cocktail we're going to be making today, I have not even tried personally myself. There's a little bit of a backstory to this one, so let's get right into it. So as you're seeing on your screen now, I have kind of started to revamp my tiki mug collection. I've been trying to re-theme the bottom shelf a little bit, kind of moving away from the more Temu, Amazon tiki mugs into some quality tiki mugs that I've been finding on eBay. I kind of want to set them up like little warriors coming out of the jungle, kind of like protectors of the paradise, if you will. So we got the little light up fish floats down there, and we have kind of like some dried plant particles just to make things a little bit more jungly. Anywho, a couple new mugs I'm still waiting to arrive, and I will set them in their places shortly. We have a couple stand-ins here for the time being of my old Temu kind of Amazon finds that were just cheaper mugs just to fill the space. So that leads us into today's cocktail. We are gonna need one of these brand new mugs that I've recently purchased, and it's going to be this little beauty right here. The cocktail that goes in this guy is called the Lonely Lagoon. Here's a quick little 360 of the mug for you. Really beautiful mug. It's from Tikiland Trading Company, and let's see, the mug is called the Treasure Tiki. It was designed by Tom Thorderson. Now you might be wondering, what is this I'm reading off of? This is like a little trading card that came with the mug. It comes with a little recipe here on the side, and then at the very bottom here I saw that the recipe was by Kelly Merrel. Now, if you're into tiki, you know who Kelly Merrel is, but if you're not into tiki, let me tell you real quick. He was one of the very first bartenders to ever start bartending at Trader Sam's when it opened, I believe in 2011. That is at the Disneyland Hotel, and he actually made the very first ever drink at Trader Sam's. Coincidentally enough, my first time going to Trader Sam's, he was the bartender, and he made me my very first ever tiki drink, which was a shipwreck, which is just bourbon, mint, lemon, simple syrups. Not the most tiki of tiki drinks, but that was the one that I chose off the menu. And after that, I was like, hey Kelly, can you level with me? What's the strongest drink you got? And of course he said zombie. So he proceeded to make me a zombie, and that was my first ever experience at Trader Sam's. Anyway, this is our trading card here, and we're gonna make Lonely Lagoon cocktail by Kelly Merrel today in the mug that it's intended for. Without further ado, let's get back to this trading card here and go over the ingredients we need to make the Lonely Lagoon. I'm really excited to try this. Never tried this cocktail before. The first thing that this cocktail calls for is 1.5 ounces of an agricole rum. Now this is a Hawaiian agricole. It might not instinctively be the type of agricole that Kelly's calling for, but this will still give us a grassy note. He might be calling for more of a Martinique agricole, which has slightly more complex, deeper tropical flavors. But since this is an unaged agricole, it's just gonna be light and grassy. I think this is still gonna work perfectly, especially because the next thing that this recipe calls for is a Demerara rum. We're going to be using the OFTD Plantaray. It calls for 3/4 of an ounce of this. So I feel like this dark, heavy, strong Demerara, sugary, like almost molassesy note, I feel like that's going to play really well with this light grassy agricole. Still have full faith that this will work, even though this agricole is not maybe like an aged Martinique. That might be what he's calling for, but really it just says 1.5 ounces of agricole. So that's what we got, still staying true to the recipe. And then the drink calls for absinthe, and we're using some absinthe that is 110 proof, that has genuine wormwood in it, which is great. That was the ingredient that was rumored to cause hallucinations, which is why absinthe was illegal for a time in the United States, but I think that was proven to be a myth. Next thing the recipe calls for is 1 ounce of lime juice, so let's hope we get 1 ounce out of that lime there. And then the next thing Kelly wants is 1/2 ounce of orange juice, so we got a nice organic sun-kissed orange. And then the recipe calls for 1/2 ounce of falernum, 1/4 ounce simple syrup, and then calls for 1 ounce of club soda. So I went out and bought this $7 rack of sparkling club soda. aka carbonated water. And then nearing the end here, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And then on the card, it calls for 1 pinch of kosher salt. Now, instead of doing that, I'm going to add a couple drops of my 20 to 80 ratio saline solution, 20 grams of salt to 80 grams of water. We're also going to need a channel knife to do our garnish. We're gonna need a pick, 2 Amarena cherries. Your favorite swizzle stick is what Kelly calls for. So I'm going to use one from Trader Sam's, very fitting to this episode since this is where Kelly works. Here's all the ingredients to make the Lonely Lagoon. Let's get into making this cocktail. I'm excited. All right, is there any other way to start this off than with 1 ounce of lime juice? I think we got good limes today. Building it in the clear glass. Do we get the full ounce? Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. 1 ounce of lime going in. Next up, we need a 1/2 ounce of orange juice. Before I squeeze this orange, I'm going to use my channel knife here to try to do our garnish. So let's see if I can use this successfully here. All right. Yeah, it's coming along. Look at this thing go. How long are we gonna go? Oh shit. Okay, well, there is our garnish. We're gonna save that for later. Okay, now we're going to cut this orange. Now I should bring out my comedically sized juicer for this, but I think I'm gonna try to squeeze this into the lemon portion of this little juicer. Let's see here. Oh, beautiful. Easy peasy orange squeezy. Anybody? 1/2 ounce of OJ going in. And hey, that's all the fruit juices, so now we got no worries. Don't like squeezing fruit. Moving on down the list here, we got 1/2 ounce of John D. Taylor's Velvet Falernum. This seems like a really classic tiki drink, but also maybe there's going to be a little bit of a mix in flavors here because we got the agricole playing with the demerara. I don't think I've ever had a drink that like showcases both of those rums together. Let's just add in our 2 dashes of Angostura bitters while we're thinking about it. There's 1, there's 2. Those are some good dashes there. Oh, and really while we're thinking about it, let's add our saline solution because I always forget to add this stuff. A cocksmith rather on YouTube, Bad Birdie, she puts 2 drops saline solution and 1 drop MSG solution in all of her cocktails. So because Kelly calls for a pinch of kosher salt, I'm actually going to do, let's do 3 drops. Let's do an extra drop in there just because I would throw the saline solution in a cocktail even if it didn't call for salt, just because it brings out the flavors more of the fruit and the spices and everything that you're putting in the drink. And then we're going to hit it with 1/4 ounce of absinthe. 1/4 ounce of absinthe is, you're definitely going to be able to taste this in the cocktail. That's for sure. Absinthe, a very strong anise flavor. Some people say licorice. There's that. I love this absinthe, by the way. I've tried a couple different ones and this stuff is the best. Now we're going to do 1/4 ounce of 1:1 simple syrup. Perfect. That's really not too much simple syrup, so this shouldn't be a super sweet drink. But then again, we do have orange juice in there. That'll sweeten it up a bit. So let's get our beautiful OFTD Planter Ray Demerara rum out. And let's do 3/4 ounce. This should give that nice richness that I believe we might miss from my Hawaiian agricole. Here is our Hawaiian agricole, and this calls for 1.5 ounces. And this square bottle is sometimes hard to pour. Going in. And now let's get into our soda water here. There were other brands that I could have bought that were like a $1 or $2 less expensive, but something about having the glasses, I don't know, I like that. I like the glass bottles. So Schweppes, you sold me on the glass quality. Oh my God. Okay, well, you can tell I'm new to club soda. Ounce of club soda. And that is definitely fizzy. I don't make a lot of fizzy tiki drinks. Well, folks, that's the whole cocktail. So as always, cheers. You can't keep falling for it, guys. I'm not gonna drink it. So we have our cocktail, we have our bag of Pebble Ice ready to go. And we actually brought out the drink mixer for this one, the flash blender, because our little card here says to shake or blend with 10 ounces of Pebble Ice, crushed ice, and pour into the mug. This drink specifically says you can flash blend it. I probably would have anyways, especially because it has the club soda in there. When you put club soda into some tins and you shake it, it could possibly pop the tins. So that's why you don't really want to shake anything that's carbonated. You might want to just float this club soda on the top or bottom of the drink if you choose to shake it. Nevertheless, we are going to need my big shaker tin because I actually don't have like a little proper tin for this guy. I found him at Savers for $12 without the little cup. So let's pour the cocktail into our tin here, and we're going to hit it with a little bit of Pebble, not too much. We flash blend. Actually, we plug the damn thing in, and now we flash blend. And we're gonna pour our beautiful cocktail into our beautiful mug. A little tricky there with the back opening. And now we're just gonna top it up with Pebble. For me, this is the most satisfying part of making a tiki drink, especially in a mug, when you get to top it all the way up with Pebble and you get to garnish it up, make it look nice and presentable here. Before I get it to the tippy top, I do want to work in our swizzle and our straw. We want it maybe on opposite sides there. All right, now let's see how much ice we can balance. So the ice is nice and packed in there. Now we're gonna get to garnishing here. So top with crushed ice as needed, got that. Garnish with a long orange peel made with a channel knife, which we use. Twist it around your favorite swizzle stick and 2 Amarena cherries on a pick. So let's get our insanely long orange twist and twist it around our Trader Sam's swizzle stick. Okay, cool. That actually is pretty sick. Introducing my new weapon of mass destruction here, a huge bar spoon, and this will just help us get our cherries out here. So specifically said 2 cherries on a pick. So we're gonna go with 1, 2 cherries. It's an oddly shaped mug, so I'm trying to make the garnishes visible. I think that's looking pretty damn cool. Technically that's all the drink calls for, but it's a tiki drink. I got fresh mint. We're gonna put some mint in it. We're gonna use a bunch of it. We're gonna slap it, we're gonna wake it up. And we're gonna put it straw side, of course. And there it is, the Lonely Lagoon cocktail by Kelly Merrel in the Treasure Tiki mug by Thor. Check that out. Do a little spin around the back here. That thing looks pretty solid. All right, it's a little hot out here. Kelly, I'm excited. Let's try this out. The Lonely Lagoon. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's really unique, actually. That's super balanced. The agricole comes in, and then the demerara kind of lands it a little bit smoother on the back of your palate. If you just have that agricole as a sole base spirit, it kind of hits you a little bit sharp with the vegetal, and the demerara really sweetens that up while still adding a bit of a punch to it as well. The orange juice and the club soda is kind of giving me a little bit of a mimosa vibes, actually. Like I said, I don't really have fizzy tiki drinks that often. Not that this is super fizzy, just a little bit of bubbles on the back end just because of that 1 ounce of club soda. The lime juice that brightens that mimosa a little bit. So you get the grass, you get the sweet molasses from the demerara overproof, you get the fizzy orange and lime citrus mimosa thing, and then that absinthe kicks in. I thought the absinthe would actually be a little bit more forward in this since we used 1/4 ounce, but no, it really actually blends in there. You get a little bit of that clove from the falernum. I really can taste everything in this drink. Sometimes tiki drinks call for like 10 different ingredients and you can really only taste 2, but in this drink, I can taste them all. So Kelly, bravo. And to Thor, this is a beautiful mug. I was very excited to make a drink in it, and I think it turned out great. So yeah, if you have all the ingredients, go make the Lonely Lagoon yourself, and please leave a comment down below what you thought of the drink. I'm gonna give this just a super solid tiki drink. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Really yummy. I'll definitely be making this again. And this little garnish here, I'll be doing more of these because this was just fun. So you guys, from Henry's Hideout, get a little cherry, a little mint. This has been the episode. Go make a Lonely Lagoon. Aloha. Cheers.